My wife of 3 years called me boring for my lack of ambition and for being content in life and in my job. Posted by you/thrower Henry Bowden. I, 35M, love my job. It's close to home and has flexible hours. The pay isn't bad either, considering I have no degree. My wife, 28F, and I, with our income, can afford a good living. We have 2 kids, a son and a daughter. My son is 4, we had a kid early on before marriage, he was a happy accident, and my daughter is 2. We were talking on Friday, and I mentioned that my boss was leaving. My wife asked if I was going to take his spot. I laughed and said, hell freaking no. Who wants it? This led to a fight. My wife accused me of lacking ambition and said I'm boring for just accepting things in life. She said it's insane that she has to be the breadwinner, that she has to claw her way up the corporate ladder. She's ambitious, constantly takes overtime, and tries to get promoted, but I've been working the same role at the same job for 7 years and just accept it. She thinks I've become boring. My carefree attitude makes her bored. Ambition is sexy, it's what men should be. She said if I grew a backbone, I could be making 6 figures by now. We could be living in New York or have a bigger house. I don't understand her logic. I genuinely don't. I'm happy with my life. I'm content. Why do I have to be a corporate shark, constantly seeking my way up the ladder? I just want to do my 9 to 6 and go home to see my family. I like having my weekends. I like being happy. We have money. For once, we aren't struggling in life. How can I tell my wife that I'm just happy? Why is someone being happy seen as wrong? Relevant comments. Commenter. It sounds to me like she feels she's carrying more than her share financially. Based on your description, she earns more than you by working a ton of overtime, while you take care of 2 small children. If you were to earn a little more, she wouldn't have to give so much of herself to work, and some of the pressure would be lifted from her. Now, ambition does seem important to her. Honestly, I get irritated with complacency myself, doers like doers. She may be frustrated that you appear to have plateaued in your aspirations at 35, but I bet a lot of it is that she feels like she's the one doing most of the work to provide your family with a good life, while you're not contributing in the same way she does, nor does it seem like you want to. The reason you don't struggle at all is likely because of how hard she's working. Why would it be a bad thing for you to do a little more so she could ease off the throttle a bit? Ops response. Why can't I be content? Why can't I just be happy? Why do I have to constantly improve and grow? I'm happy with my career and who I am. Why is that wrong? She takes overtime because it's either forced or because she wants to. We aren't struggling. You're acting as if I'm some lazy bum leeching off her. I'm so freaking sick of this attitude that you can never be content or happy. Only when I'm rich can I be happy? It's so toxic. Commenter 2. It's simple, you aren't contributing as much as she is, so she has to work more than you while you sit around acting like nothing is wrong. You're dumb, and she's fed up, dude. The only reason you're content and not struggling is that she is working her tail off, not you. Your complacency and contentment are at her expense. While you put in minimal effort, she picks up the slack. Ops response. How am I not? Because I don't work as much as she does? Is it expected that the man be the breadwinner? We can afford our current life. She thinks we'll be rich, that's everyone's goal, to be rich and live in a fancy house with high-paying careers. But that's a fantasy, not reality. We already have everything we need. With our combined incomes and my savings, we will have enough to pay for college. I don't eat out. I don't order fast food. Our kids come first. Commenter 3. I'm with you 100%, op. The only part that gives me pause is your wife saying, why do I have to be the main breadwinner? Would your comfortable life be possible if she also took your approach? That is, to what extent is her kind of ambition, because I think you're equally ambitious, just toward a different goal. What allows you to pursue the life you want? Does she want to work less? These are important questions about how you work together as a team while also pursuing your own individual ambitions. Ops response. Yes. She doesn't make much more than me, about 10K, I make 48K, she makes around 60K. She's a salaried manager at a big box retailer. But she chose to do this. She liked running a business, and she loved working retail. She wants to go into corporate. But we live in a low cost of living area. Our house was $210K for 3 bedrooms, that was a steal. My mortgage is cheaper than my rent for a tiny 2-bedroom apartment. And by cheaper, I mean $300 cheaper. I pay $1,350 for my mortgage, my rent was $1,600. Outrageous, right? But it was all I could find. I can't afford to move to the big city and live a life of luxury. It's just never happening. She thinks if we both climb the ladder, in a few years, we'll be making 6 figures and living in a mansion. That won't happen, and it's not my dream. I just want to live my life with a job that isn't stressful, one that I enjoy, and not be overburdened with stress. Is that wrong of me? She's very much of the mindset that men should be the breadwinners, not women. She believes she should take a relaxed approach and stay home with the kids. Commenter 4. Your house payments seem reasonable given your combined income. Could there be any other financial stressors causing your wife to feel this way? For example, does she worry that you haven't saved enough for retirement, an emergency fund, your children's college, or other expenses? I'm just wondering if there's another reason she wants you to move up the ladder. If your family's needs are met and you're financially secure, then being happy and content should be enough. However, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, not saying that's the case, that could be a significant reason for her concerns. Ops response. We aren't living paycheck to paycheck. We did before we had kids and before marriage, but not now. I get it, if we were, she'd have every right to be upset. That life isn't worth living. But we have our needs met. Why do we have to be rich? Unless the kids are going to Harvard, our needs are met. I can afford a vacation. We haven't had a vacation since COVID and likely won't take one anytime soon since the kids aren't vaccinated and she won't get the vaccine. Update 4 days later. Well, it's a divorce. We're just two different people going in different directions. So, her initial reasons were envy. She admits she was envious that I could just accept my life the way it is and be happy with so little. I could be happy never moving up in my career. She was envious that I could go home happy, not stressed, and not dread the work week. She never has that luxury. She's always stressed, always feeling worthless for getting such a late start in life. But the real reason, she's not happy with her life. She admits to me that she cannot be happy with this life. Living in the suburbs, being a soccer mom, this life isn't for her. She tried making it work, but she can't do it. She wants to constantly claw her way up the ladder, constantly strive to improve. She wants a big house, to be rich, to be somebody, and not just live. She wants someone who is equally ambitious, not me, someone who is content. She wants to be with someone who is willing to take major risks and make spur-of-the-moment plans. To her, it's like a constant pressure. She doesn't want to stay in one place or do the same thing forever. I'm the exact opposite. I don't want to constantly be moving or constantly doing more. I want to be happy and live a quiet, humble life. She cannot understand how I could want that, and I cannot fathom why she wouldn't either. So, we're left at an impasse. We've both decided we can't go on. It isn't fair to either of us or our kids. Not a happy update, I guess. Relevant comments. Commenter. Honestly, your wife seems to place a lot of importance on money and prestige to fill whatever emptiness she has. You can be a content person who spends time with your family and still be somebody. Sorry you're divorcing, but I think it will be better for everyone in the long run. Ops response. That's society as a whole. Go look at the last thread, so many people calling me a loser, a failure, for not sharing the same ideals. I've had so many people DM me, saying how much of a loser I am for not wanting to be rich. I had everything I wanted, a nice job, a nice house, a family, no worries about money. But it's never enough, it never will be enough. The idea that you aren't chasing after the dollar is seen as backwards. Commenter 2. That woman is a complete loser. I've worked very serious, high-level, prestigious jobs and rubbed elbows with names you see on Reddit regularly. And I'm much happier being a teacher. My kids have no idea about my prior position or prestige because it doesn't matter. In fact, neither do my coworkers. I just teach and go home. I saw a student at the mall yesterday, she was ecstatic to see me. I saw another one today, he was ecstatic to see me. There's no appreciation in the corporate world. The only true meritocracy comes from how people treat you when you treat them with kindness and compassion that is earned. Commenter 3. Wait, I disagree with so many of the commenters. This is stupid. As much as Op wants to coast through life, kids cost money, and life costs money. I'm trying not to be disrespectful, but in today's economy, making $48K at 35 with a family isn't going to cut it. He's able to relax because his wife is busting her chops trying to reach a point where she makes good money while he just stays stagnant. Adding to that, he was 30 and she was 23 when they had their happy accident. He got to live his life, but what did she get? A kid with a guy who has no ambition in life. Ambition doesn't have to mean wanting to be the next billionaire, but at least have the common sense to understand that their financial situation is not sustainable. This isn't just about envy or jealousy. For the divorce to happen in 4 days, this has clearly been an ongoing issue that was never resolved. With his wife no longer sustaining his $48K income in today's economy and his lack of motivation, he's not going to get far. Commenter 4. Agreed. I feel a bit crazy reading the comments here. Granted, I live in a high cost of living city, but I cannot even fathom living on her income, let alone his $48K. I don't even have kids. I don't get the sense that she wants to live a pampered socialite life like some commenters are suggesting. She just wants her husband to pick up the slack a bit more. Ambition is sexy. I'd feel less attracted to my spouse if all he wanted to do was coast through life. Obviously, I may be projecting a little. I'm also the breadwinner, making nearly double what my husband makes.